Hello everyone, welcome back with me Ryan Ahmad Kusuma Zulindra. In this video is made to submit my midterm project of advanced listening. In the midterm project there are 3 audio. The first audio is about violence on television. The issue of violence on television is often debated. A lot of people worry that the violence acts on television can influence the audience to be more aggressive. Some people believe that the restriction on violent television programs is needed. But others believe that everyone has the right to choose what they want to watch, and others believe that violence in television programs does not affect person's behavior. Another worrying thing about violence in television programs is that viewers will imitate aggressive acts. For example, a television program that shows professional wrestle. Some people worry that the children watching it will imitate the wrestle and that it could cause serious injury. Another example is a television program that shows shooting gun scans. Some people worry that viewers watching the program will use pistol when clashing with other people. Another concern is that people will be less and less concerned about the effects of violence due to the effects of the violence on television. In other words, people watching violence on television will get used to violence and tend to tolerate violent acts. Some people don't believe that violence on television has any sad effect, and they think that violence exists long before television exists. And they argue that people can tell the difference between television and the real world. Therefore, they say that people will not imitate and become less concerned to violence in real life. They also think that parents should educate their children not to watch television program that contains violence. Physiological research has conducted research on the effects of violence on television and has shown that children who watch a lot of violence on television become more aggressive as they grow up. This is especially true for those who have aggressive behavior from the start. Finally, other research has shown that murder rates tend to increase the day after boxing match is broadcast on television. Almost all psychologists agree that violence on television will affect behavior in everyday life. Violence on television is a difficult issue because of conflicts in public safety and individual freedoms. Some feel that violence on television should be limited because it affects the social environment, but others feel that everyone is free to watch what they want. The second audio, public art. At the first of the audio, a woman explained that public art is different with art in the museum or galleries. In case of public art, we can see it even when we are walking around. Her favorite place of public art is in the MRT station because she can saw public art each time she went out of the station. The material of public art is also different because it needs to be able to stand the weather outside, so its material is more solid. She also loves how specific the public art, which is relevant to the spaces or notice something different each time she looks at the art. In the city center like Little India or Chinatown, there are a lot of artwork structure that we can see as we walking by. Then she explained another artwork named Fernando Betaro Bats. It was a giant sculpture in shape of bat and placed on the edge of the river. It was very interesting. Many people reacted in different ways about the size, volume, or how majestic it looks. The art makes us wonder why there is a bat in the edge of the river as a natural sight, but actually it was a symbol of peace and prosperity. Next, she explained another sculpture from artists in Singapore, pioneering sculpture that made in 2008. Teacher of 5 boys, one of who's all the way in the bottom jumping into the river. The artist captured the memories of kids jumping in and playing in the water into a sculpture. It was something that we rarely see right now. It kind of took us into the time when the river is clean and so different than today's. She loves how detailed the art. She can see how the children were so happy jumping into the river from the sculpture. It was so dynamic and different from solid kind of structure seen along the road. It was a wonderful public art. The third part. The audio starts when the girl speaks about what she wanted to eat when she was little. Even when she grew up, she still loved delicious food like candy, ice cream, cake, brownies, and more. But she realized the unhealthiness of the food that makes she gain extra weight. When she was little, she thought that all of it will help her to run fast and play sports. But she was able to find the flaw in each of her part of herself. Her name was Emily New Holland, and she's going to speak about American British standard. Every person had different way to use their body that was constantly changing. She thought that she was skinny enough and did not have negative thought about her body until she got to middle school. She realized something was wrong with her and she thought her body was not desirable. She was confused, but she minded to concern from other people. Even though everyone had perception of their own bodies, whether it was good or bad, confident or insecure, it was shaped by society. Since we are living in the age of social media, it was difficult to follow them because models and celebrity was promoting the certain body types. Now, young women demanded to have small waist, pretty face, big butt, and look natural. But who can fulfill that? All of the beauty image and representation about what was ideal or what should they look like began to shape their view of what was ideal or what they should like from the young age. The image often had extremely negative impacts because all young people have their own worries and insecurity for their bodies. Some feel that it was too intense, while for some others, it was simply insecurity. Nevertheless, insecurity impacts all of this. The impact felt the moment they look their body, wearing clothes, or even when they simply go out. They often go on diet and get starved. Then they begin to treat them poorly the moment they do not value their bodies for what they provide, but instead simply on what they look like. Emily thinks that most people take their body for granted.